Thank you so much for making time to come today. Alright, okay. Good evening. So, my mom has so many comments. Okay. Good evening. So it would only be fair if I start this word of thanks by thanking the two people who built the ground that I stand on. My parents, they worked relentlessly hard to build a good life together, and they gave my brother and I everything any parents possibly could. My mother, she taught us the guilt of privilege, and she constantly reminded us that how fortunate we are to have the privilege of such good childhoods. She always told us that there was always a child out there who worked 10 times harder than we did, but had a fraction of the comfort we had. So thanks to her, my brother and I learned to never take our lives for granted. So all our success, all our wisdom, all our successes and all our happiness goes back to her wisdom. So I thank you for everything. So my dad, my father, my mom doesn't like it when I call my father dad. It's like, we're Sigma, don't call him dad. So my father taught me the value of hard work and honesty, which according to him are really the only things you really need to live a good life. He taught us the importance of giving back and working hard to help ourselves and to help our country. And I want to thank him for teaching my brother and I to love this country. Thank you so much. To my brother Senna, I always say you're my first friend and my best friend, and it's a cliche, but I'm going to say it today as well. Thank you. Thank you for always being the gentleman that you are, and I know you've always worked very hard to make my life so much easier. Thisuri, thank you so much for always being there for me. You keep me sane. To all my friends and family, all of you who are here today, it means the world to me that you made time to share this special day with me. Special thanks to today's speakers, Dr. J.B. Dissanayake, Dr. Raja Vijay Singh, and Dr. Dayan Jatha. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for making time in your very busy schedule. Thank you to Auntie Anuja for a beautiful performance, and to Mr. Sagar Vijay Singh for helping us out in this very last minute. Thank you to Bennington College for believing in me and letting me edit this novel during my first fieldwork term. And I should also thank my alma maters, St. Richard's Convent, the British School of Colombo, and Bennington College. Thank you, Jane Conrad, for proofreading this book before it went into print. Mr. Bandula Javikrama, thank you for the beautiful cover. Thank you, Graphicare Limited, for doing a great job at printing the book. The Terrace Daughter would not be what it is without all of your help. I must mention that this book is a work of fiction and is by no means an attack to anyone or anything in the political spectrum of Sri Lanka. It does, however, speak about social issues that Sri Lankans are familiar with. So the pain of leaving such a beautiful country behind, to live all on my own when I was 19, the pain of living all across the world from this beautiful place was unfathomable. I remember the first time I decided to write this book. I was sitting by a window at the Harold F. Jefferson Library in Amherst. I was watching a snowstorm outside. It was so cold, and I had never felt so lonely in my life. And I remember craving to be home so badly. And I realized that writing this book would help me take my mind home. And it did. During the hardest of times, during the loneliest of times, this book kept me sane. The Terrorist Daughter is the story of a generation in transition from war to peace. A generation that understands that it's time to rebuild the country, forgiving the past and holding on to the lessons learned. As the days will go by and the reviews and the comments start coming in, I know this book will be many things in the eyes of many people, but to me, The Terrorist Daughter will always be a love letter to Sri Lanka that I wrote from across the world. A love letter to a beautiful country that suffered a conflict for many decades and is living the side effects of it to this day. A country that has so much potential and a long way to go. I hope you enjoyed the read. Thank you all for being here today. Have a wonderful evening.